worry about Lazzy, bro. He getting hit with the diss track soon.
Okay.
Getting the beat and everything.
Let's start with our practice quiz. Go ahead and get your notes out. We are going to work in the notes a little bit, but we'll do the practice quiz first now. This thing is way bigger than the actual quiz. The actual quiz will be 3 problems. Everybody hear me? 3 problems. But it will be 3 problems that come off of this sheet. Okay? So the quiz will be 3 of these problems. Okay? So the first thing I'm looking at, where it says practice quiz 2.8. First thing I see is one of those problems where 2 people are doing a job. All right, what's our setup for that? Who remembers if 2 people are doing the job? Gabby?
One over a line plus one over a line.
Yep, so we're gonna start with that. All right, so Dre can do it in 20 minutes. So 1 over 20. Daisy can do it in 25 minutes, so 1 over 25, that's Daisy's time. How long will it take them together? That's our X. Everybody follow that? Now, what's the next thing we need to do? Get a common denominator. Now you can, some of you are really good at this, you can find the least common denominator. Or you can just recognize that every single fraction needs a 20, a 25, and an X. So this one, I'm just going to do 25X. Now it has all 3 parts. This one, what does this one need? 20X. And this one needs a 25 and a 20, and those are multiplied. This is all multiplied. So now all the fractions have a 25, a 20, and an X. Would you agree with that? So now I can say 25X plus 20X equals 25 times 20, which you'll have a little calculator. That's 500. So 45X equals 500. And X equals 500 over 45. Which is 100 over 9 minutes. All right, everyone? Pretty easy? Okay. See if you can set up the next one. It's the same kind of problem, isn't it? So see if you can set that up. Fix my attendance. What equation did you write to start with?
1 over x equals 1 over 2.
What do the rest of you think? Is that right this time?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what do we not know? We don't know Sophia's time, right? So that's, her alone time is X. Okay, what's our common denominator? It's gotta have 3, a 2, and an X. So 2 and X on this one. 3 and 2 on this one. And 3 and X on that one. 2X plus 6 equals 3X. Did you get X equals 6 hours? now we have some inequalities. All right, what do we do with this? Remember, your test or your quiz tomorrow is gonna have 3 problems on it. We're picking from the kinds on this paper. All right, so here we go. What do we do first with this guy? Factor. And how does it factor? +7 minus 2. That look okay to everybody? Those of us, actually, then all of us should be checking our factoring to make sure that it is good. Why is your coat on? All right, what do I do now after I get factored? What do? I go to my number line and I put 2 dots on my number line. Those dots will be closed in. And if you're comfortable using your shortcut, you can. Because the only time you can't use your shortcut, there's 2 things, 2 ways you can't use your shortcut. One is if you've got something like that in your problem. Okay? We don't have that. The other is if you have more than 2 dots. Your shortcuts only work with 2 dots. So I have 2 dots, at -7 and +2. It is a greater than problem. What do I know if I have 2 dots and a greater than? Out. So my answer, -infinity to -7, or 2 to infinity. When I shade out, I'm shading the ends of my number line, and that's where the infinities are. So when I shade out, my answer is gonna have to have infinity in it. Now, problem number 4 is already factored, so you can breathe a great sigh of relief. But notice that it has a square in it. Now, there are 2 dots. Would you agree with that? -1 and 3, those are my 2 dots. But because of the squared, I can't just shade. What am I gonna do if I can't just shade in and use my shortcut? How do I tell where to shade or not? What do I need to do?
Pick a point.
I pick some numbers, that's right. I need to pick a point here, and here, and here. So what would a number be over here? I'll just start over here. What would a number be over here? -2. So I am gonna put -2 into the problem. And I'm gonna check to see if I get an answer that is bigger than 0. All right, so here I go. -2 minus 3 is -5. But I'm squaring it, so I get 25. -2 plus 1 is -1. If I multiply those together, and remember, this is a multiplication problem. If I multiply those, is my answer bigger than 0?
Nope.
Nope. So what does that mean? Do not shade. Next, pick a number in there. 0. I like 0. 0 is the easiest. I'm gonna put 0 in here. All right. 0 minus 3 is -3, but squared is 9. 0 plus 1 is 1. 9 times 1, bigger than 0? So you shade it. One more time. You have to do this. Shortcut doesn't work. You have to do this. So pick a number right here. 4. 4 in. 4 minus 3 is 1. Squared is still 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 1 times 5, bigger than 0? So I shade that too. So my answer is negative 1 to 3 and 3 to infinity. It's tempting to do this as one piece, but you see you can't because it's broken right there. So it's this or this. Those are the worst problems. When you put squares in, you have to check every single space. All right, let's look at number 5. Luckily, it is already factored for you too. Now remember, the quiz problems, there's only going to be 3 of them, but they're going to look just like these. Okay, so you might have a problem that looks like that. Might have a problem that looks like this. Might have a problem where Susie and Billy are working together. You're going to have 3 problems just like these. All right, so what do we do here? It's already factored. So we just look straight to the number line. 3 dots on the number line. Where are the dots going to be? Give them in order.
Negative 5.
-5,
Negative 1.
-1, and 2. This is the tricky one. Does anybody remember? I had you put a little note over to the side. I said star this. What did we star yesterday?
You can't do the -5.
Denominator dots are always open. So I see this right here, so I'm going to color in my dots, but I can't ever color in a dot in the denominator. So these 2 are going to get colored in. That one's going to have to stay open. Now, I have 3 dots up here. Can I use my shortcut? No. So the good news is, the shading is going to alternate. As long as you don't have any squares in there, your shading will alternate. So I just need to figure out one section and then I can alternate the rest. So, pick a number, I don't care. 0, I love 0. 0 is my favorite. 0's in here, would everyone agree with that? So I'm gonna put zeros in. Put a 0 here, and a 0 here, and a 0 here. So I have 1 times -2 over 5. Is that less than 0? Is this number right here less than 0? Yeah, it's negative, right? So it's less than 0, which means this is getting shaded. Now what else is getting shaded? Not this one, but this one will. Remember, we alternate. We didn't alternate in this one because of that, right? That one, you gotta check everything. This one, we just check 1 and then we can alternate. So, negative infinity to -5, or -1 to 2. Okay, now let's flip it over. The little more practice. Remember, your quiz will have 3 problems. Any 3 from this paper. So let's look at number 1 on the back side. Number 1. How much, okay, now this is different. What's my setup for this one? Amount times percent. Alright, so I got all these parentheses to fill in. So I have 54%. I have 45%, and I have 49%. So far, so good? Alright, how much, what are our amounts? How much? 6 quarts. What's gonna go on the end down there? X plus 6 or 6 plus X? Doesn't matter. X plus 6, 6 plus X, same thing. Alright, here we go. 0.54X plus 2.7.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
2.94.
2.94, thank you. Okay, now we're gonna solve it, right? What are you doing to solve it? You personally, what are you doing? Put the X's on the same side. So I would subtract the 49 over. I like to be positive. So what do I get when I subtract the 49 over?
0.05.
0.05x. Then I'll go ahead and subtract the 2.7 over. And that one is gonna be 0.24. And then I'll divide. And what is that? 4.8? And that would be quarts. Right? All right, number 2, James can paint his mom a picture in 5 hours. If Terry helps, he can do it in 4. How long will it take Terry alone? What's that equation gonna look like? 1 over alone plus 1 over alone equals 1 over together. All right, so here we go. Let's plug some numbers in. What are we gonna have? 1 over 5 plus 1 over x, because that's Terry alone, equals 1 over 4. Our common denominator has to have a 5, an x, and a 4. So I'll just give each fraction what it doesn't have. Now they all have a 5, a 4, and an x. So I have 4x plus 20. Remember, those are 1 times. So 4x plus 20 equals 5x. So it looks like it takes poor Terry 20 hours to do it by himself. Okay, 2 more. number one. Caroline and Kevin, isn't that just like the problem we just finished? So our setup will be that right there. What would the equation look like for the Caroline Kevin problem? 1/3 plus 1/5. What do you think, groupies? Is she right? So we're gonna make all the denominators match. So this one needs a 5 and an X. This one needs a 3 and an X. And this one needs a 3 and a 5. 5x plus 3x equals 15. I got 15/8 hours. And the last problem, I know this is taking forever to get through this. Remember, it's 3 problems. We're just doing extra practice here. 3 of these problems on the quiz count. All right, so now for the last problem, we're gonna use this setup right here. So my percentages are 43, 85, and 48. How much 20 pints of 48? Read your problem carefully. Do you see that the 20 is down there now? That means our opening is right here. This is not going to be 20 plus x, 20 minus x. And it has to be 20 minus x, not x minus 20. It's got to be 20 minus. Now, do you notice these are on the same side of the equation? So these need to be combined. So you have a positive 0.43 and a negative 0.85. That's negative 0.42. Now, that's an X on there. Now we can subtract the 17. I got 17.62, what was it? Pints. Anybody else get that? Okay, so quiz tomorrow, 3 problems, just like that. Then on Monday, we'll get all of our quizzes back as we continue with our review for our test on Thursday. But now, let's look at our notes. Almost finished. But there are a couple more things I want to do in our notes before we do our practice test. So, last page of your, next to last page of your notes. Yesterday, we did the Amelia problem, do you remember? The Amelia problem we did down there. I'd like to do the rest of those problems, so 1, 2, and 4. And we'll do 4 first, because it could be on the quiz tomorrow. And I already have my little formula written up here, so let's do number 4 first. You might need to do this on other paper. I think for sure 1 and 2 will need to be done on other paper, so I'm gonna grab a sheet of paper. So I'm in my notes, everybody know where I am? Problem number 4, right under the Amelia problem. We've got solutions that we are mixing. This could be on tomorrow's quiz, this problem. So I have 16% and 2%, and this is tricky, this, we haven't run into much of this, but what decimal is 2%? 0.02, yeah, make sure you got 0.02 to get a 10% solution. How much, 16, 9 quarts of 2% to get 10%? What's gonna go in that box or that empty parentheses? I'm gonna say 9 plus x, and the reason I do that is because if it's a minus, the 9 has to come first. So I get in the habit of always writing the 9 first. But if you write x plus 9, you're fine. X plus 9 is fine. So 0.16x plus 0.18. I hope I'm right. I'm not using my calculator, so still right. So I'm going to put all my x's on the same side. I'm going to subtract carefully using my calculator if I need to. I got 12 quarts. Don't just blindly copy mine down. What do you think? Is that all right with everyone? But I'm gonna have to erase it, so is that okay with everybody? All right, so now I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna do problem number 1, where it says sketch and label all. This is not on tomorrow's quiz, but it will definitely be on your test. So this is some review here. We are going to sketch and label. All right. Do I have a volunteer to come up and do the first step of this problem? Do you know what the first step is? Mm-hmm. So who's gonna come up and do that? Look at that. You're awesome. Good job. Takes courage to come up here. Thank you, Mr. Ayers. And I think he's factored correctly. That's step one, gotta factor. And then what do you notice? We're gonna be able to cancel. And so we are actually going to be graphing just x plus 3 over x minus 4. That's what's left. And because we canceled, we know we have a hole. And where will the hole be? Where x is -4? And I have to put that on my picture, but I'm not sure where to put it until I find that. And how do I find that? Plug in -4 right here. So -4 plus 3 is -1. -4 minus 4 is -8. And what happens when you have a negative over a negative? So it's 1/8, it's positive 1/8. So our hole is, our hole is right here. Now on the test, I will have all the stuff listed. So you'll have to find a vertical asymptote, a horizontal asymptote, x-intercept, and y-intercept, okay? That'll all be listed for you. So what do you know? Of these things right here, here's your problem. What do you know?
Horizontal's 1.
What?
Horizontal's 1.
Horizontal is y equals 1. And Levi, how do you know the horizontal asymptote is y equals 1?
Look back to the equation.
So you can look at the original, x squared over x squared, or you can look here, x over x. It doesn't make any difference. You'll get the right answer either place. All right. Amaya, do you know anything here of what's left? Can you find a vertical asymptote, x or y intercept? What comes from the denominator? Vertical asymptote comes from the denominator. So where will the vertical asymptote be? X equals 4. I want to say it one more time. Everybody in the room should know what the word vertical means, all right? This is vertical. If you draw a vertical line, which axis does it cross? X. Your equation will be X. The equation is the axis that it crosses. All right? Crystal, can you find an intercept? How do I find the y-intercept? I plug in 0. So I go back to my problem here, and I plug in 0. That's easy. If I plug in zeros, I get -3/4. So -3/4 is right here. And the only thing left is the x-intercept. Where does that come from? Numerator. So my x-intercept is going to be at -3, comma 0. And now I have to draw it. Does that look okay to you? Yours probably looks better than that, but something like that. And then do I move on to the next problem? No, because I still have a chunk of it up here, right? These guys are gonna be in two pieces. And you gotta get both pieces into your picture. All right, we good there? All right, we got one more. Let's do number 2. We have a volunteer or team of volunteers who will do the whole problem for us. This one, I just want to, and I want you guys to do it, but I need you to pay attention. Look at the numerator. There's something going on in the numerator. What, Kyle? We're gonna take out a 2. Take out the 2. Now, if you take out the 2, you keep it. It isn't disappearing. You've just taken it out of the parentheses. You are still gonna have to factor the parentheses. Okay, so who do I have? Do I have someone, either by yourself or with a partner, come up and do this one? You wanna do it? Yeah. Oh, okay, well, these guys are gonna do it. Let's say, I gotta make sure, let's get our picture right here. So you can do all your work over there. All right, now the rest of you are not on vacation. You should be doing this too. Can you guys separate for a second, just so people can see your factoring? So, if you're working on this at your seat, what you're supposed to be doing, double check your factoring. Does anybody have a question? I think their factoring is correct. Anybody have a question about that? Everybody okay with that? Notice the 2 is still there. You don't get rid of that 2, it stays with you. They put a horizontal asymptote at y equals 2. Agree or disagree? Agree, perfect. they have a vertical asymptote at, what is that, x equals -5. Agree or disagree? Agree. This is on the quiz, no, but it's on the test. They put an x-intercept at 2. You okay with that? Yep, perfect. And they put a y-intercept at -4/5. Perfect. Everything is perfect as long as you can get a shakedown in there.
You gotta cross through the hole, right?
Yeah, it goes through the hole, yeah. Okay, don't sit down, boys. I want you to field any questions someone has. So just step aside so they can see your picture. All their information was perfect. So what kind of questions do we have for them? Do we have any questions for them? All good?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to do a parabola on that, or is it?
No.
Right.
No, no, you're gonna have, it's your reciprocal function, so it's this and this. Yeah, the only time this picture will, this kind of picture will have a parabola is if you have 2 vertical asymptotes. You don't, you have 1. So you're always gonna have the reciprocal function.
Then we wouldn't have to cross the hole there, would we? Or would we?
Well, you have your hole in the wrong spot. It's -1/3. So the hole is down here. Yeah. What you drew, I was waiting to see if anyone would ask, what you drew is impossible because you have it crossing the x-axis here and here, and it can only cross there. And it isn't gonna bounce back up because you don't have it squared in the problem. So, yeah, that was kind of messed up. But it was messed up because you have the right point here. You just plotted it above instead of below. So if you plot it correctly, your picture's fine. Okay? All right. The last page of your note packet is some word problems. I have worked them out on the back. So this will be something you can do. It's the mixture problems and the Susie and Billy can do the job problems. You can do those on your own if you want. Don't worry about number 7. We haven't done anything like number 7, so you don't need to worry about that one. But the rest of those, if you want extra practice on the word problems, you got it, right there. And you can check with the back. Here are your practice tests. We're gonna get started on this right now. And I don't know what I was thinking. I wasted paper because I ran the answers off too, so the answers are in there too. We're gonna do them all in class, but if you do another one on your own, then we'll need the answers. Let's turn, we're on practice test 1. Let's go a little bit out of order because I want to do problems like you might have to do on tomorrow's quiz. So, practice test 1, 2C. 2C. What is special, or, I don't know if special is the right word, but what do I have to pay attention to in problem 2C?
Squared.
Yeah, I got a squared. And when I have a squared, I have to do a lot of checking to see where to shade. So I can jump right in and do my number line. Where are my dots going to be? -4 and 1. They will be closed in. But no shortcuts. I'm going to have to do some individual checking. So, we're gonna pick a number over here, right? Any number you want over here. You're gonna put it in for your X's. You're gonna work it all out. And you're gonna see if the answer is less than 0. All right, so do that right now. Pick whatever number you want over here. Fill it in and work it out. Did you end up shading this or not? Yes, I heard yeses and nos, okay. Well, we have a problem. What number did you put in? -5. So if you put in a -5 here, what is -5 plus 4? -1, but it's squared, so it is 1. -5 minus 1. You are multiplying those. Is 1 times -6 less than 0?
Yes.
Yes, so therefore you shade. So those of you that said you shade, you're right on target. All right, what's the next step?
Plug in 0.
I love 0, you know that, but you can plug in any number you want in here. 0 is in there, so I'm gonna put a 0 in. work it out. Does it turn out less than 0?
Yeah.
I got no's and yeses again. Here we go. 0 plus 4 is 4. Squared is 16. 0 minus 1 is -1. If I multiply 16 times -1, am I less than 0?
Yep.
Say it again. Let's pick a number out here. 2 is fine. Anything, plug it in, tell me if I shade or not. I hear some no's. Are we unanimous on the no's?
Yep.
So therefore, my answer is this. This is for, wait a minute. Don't you need 2 pieces? Actually, I don't this time, because aren't they connected at 4? And 4 is included. If that were an open dot, I would need 2 separate sections. But because it's a closed dot, it's all one piece. It's all connected. So I'm gonna write my answer this way. Okay, real quick, another problem that could be on your, maybe you got some room to write it down, but another problem that could be on your quiz is one of these big ones like this. And it's all factored for you already. So what do? We jump right in and do what? Put the dots on the number line. How many dots will there be? 3. -2, 3 and 4. Remember, even though that's there, that dot will be open, so only those 2 get closed in. Three dots. Can't do a shortcut. I'm gonna pick a number.
0.
You know me, I'm picking 0. 0's right in here. So 0 plus 2, 0 minus 3, 0 minus 4. That's -6 over -4, that's 6/4. Is that less than 0? No. So I'm not shading here. Instead, I'll shade here, and here, and then my answer. All right. Quiz tomorrow, we'll continue with our practice test. 2A homework is due Monday. Sit down, you people. Sit down. There we go. Now you can go.
Buddy, you were outside the door too.
Quiz tomorrow.
What's the first bar? The first bar? Or that's it? Oh, I'm gonna say you look like something.
Thank you.
See ya, you're welcome. Yep, see ya. All right. get out early or what? See ya. Yeah, Presley, you're gonna get an A on this test.
Yep, that's my goal.
She's been on fire lately. Can we plug that in back there? I don't want to trip over it like this like that or something. There's a cube back there. There's one up here. My pencil sharpener.
Thank you.